Mike Jones, they call the plays in the zone. Spit facts, no cap, straight to the bone. Gritter, roaring gossip, the field's their home. Huddle up, press play, you're never alone. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this is the spot. NFL drama, they break it down surgical. Draft day whispers, moves so tactical. Receiver stretching arms, catches vertical. Big C's laugh hitting, vibes so magical. Mike Jones got stats like a human playbook. Big C's insight sharper than a no-look. Halftime debates, better than they should. You fumble the podcast, now you misunderstood. Flags fly, refs blind, penalty stack. They calling out the calls, no sugar, just facts. Fantasy picks, who's carrying the pack? Every week they hit harder than a linebacker smack. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. Your check as I'm chess, what's happening next?
What up, what up, what up, football fans? Welcome to another episode of Laces Out Live. I'm your host, Big C. This is brought to you by Game Changers Media. And y'all know my co-host, Michael B. Anthony Jordan II.
What? I'm white as hell, bro. How you gonna do that?
Mike Jones, what up?
What up, man? How you doing? Oh, man. I'm ready for football, but our team suck, dude. It's definitely disheartening. It's definitely disheartening.
Speak for yourself.
I ain't gonna talk.
We're in a rut. We're about to make our run.
Yeah, a run for the fucking exits.
Now we're about to make a playoff run.
Oh,
Miami Dolphins catch us in Vegas. Is Vegas where the Super Bowl is?
Yeah, I think so.
The Vegas, 2 WrestleManias in a row in the Super Bowl. See, I went to Vegas a few years ago, and the stadium hadn't been built yet. But the hotel we stayed in, I believe, is right across the street from where the stadium is. We stayed in the Mandalay Bay when we were out there. Vegas is it's crazy out there. It really is. The weather is phenomenal. Nothing you experience back east. You know, you got Florida, which is super hot and stuff, but it's humid as all hell. You can't breathe. You're constantly sweating. Vegas is not like that. It's hot, but it's not a wet hot. It's just a very dry hot. You can breathe fine. You feel like you could go play basketball or do whatever you wanted to do,
right?
And not like have your clothes clinging to your back. You know what I mean? Like I love the weather out there, but I'm pretty sure you've seen the Hangover movies, right?
Yeah.
Where the Chinese guy jumps out the trunk in the first one, butt ass naked.
Yeah,
that's where the stadium is, in that empty spot where they're. But yeah, we missed a couple shows this week. Trade deadline came and gone. I was expecting the Giants to do some moves. I was expecting the Miami Dolphins to make more moves. We traded away Jalen Phillips to the Philadelphia Eagles. He's been kind of bashing us, I feel, a little bit in the press, and I don't really like that. So here's to you, Jalen Phillips. Don't act like you were here being awesome all-pro player and everybody else was just sucking. guy. We took him in the first round, and he never even got to 10 sacks. So, it is what it is. He was one of my favorite players on the Dolphins, but I can't stand that once you leave, you start trying to throw shade at your past team. Oh, this is the happiest moment of my life. How about when we drafted your college retired ass with your numerous concussions that you shouldn't even been probably a first round pick? How about that? When you would have never been traded if you lived up to your potential. There's a reason why the Miami Dolphins were willing to move on from you, brother. You know what I mean? So don't go just bashing us. But there were a few big moves. The Jets unloaded. Crazy.
Saucy boy.
Not just sauce, but one of the top defensive tackles in all of football, and Quentin Wilkinson. Listen, I can understand moving on from players, especially when you're not a very good football team. You're in the middle of a rebuild, but those are pieces that you rebuild with. So to me, it doesn't make a ton of sense.
Right.
Sauce Gardner is still super young. You know what I mean? It's not, if Sauce Gardner was 28, 29 years old, cool. He's going to, by the time we're ready to compete, he's going to be an older player, blah, blah, blah. Sauce Gardner, 23 years old,
right.
Was he going to be 25 when you hope to compete? 25 is still super young. And I feel like there's a real corner is not a position in the NFL where teams got a lot of great corners. You're lucky if you got one true number one corner on your football team. Like, corner is a endangered species in the NFL. So for you to have a top 5 corner on your football team and to trade him away when he's getting ready to enter his prime, I mean, I don't know if I agree with that move, no matter how many first round draft picks you received.
Yeah,
because the Indianapolis Colts look really good, and there's a chance those are going to be late round, first round picks at that. I just don't know if it makes sense to me.
No. I mean, I was very disappointed in the Giants. Like, we didn't even do nothing. But then again, the story popped up about supposedly Brian Daboll was about to get fired coming off the plane after that Denver loss, and I guess cooler heads prevailed, and it just didn't happen. So it actually makes sense after we hear that come out, because I mean, I could see him making moves, but if Daboll's already got his foot out the door, I mean, it kind of doesn't really make a lot of sense. Just finish out the season, and then whoever's replacing him, that would obviously be his choice, and his input would be higher on the totem pole. I didn't realize that. I didn't think that. I thought, if anything, Joe Shane was going to be on the on the get fired block, but so that shocked me a little bit. Not too thrilled with that, but then again, I think that's also just because of Mara being sick, and he's got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and it's definitely an undertaking. If you go straight to the GM, it'd probably be a lot easier to just take care of the coach, but I want him to clean house. So
see, I'm not if you're going to fire someone, fire them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Miami Dolphins, obviously Mike McDaniel's still the head coach there. We let go of Chris Greer, which I felt like was the direction we need to move in, more so than anything. We need to move on from Chris Greer. But Mike McDaniel, either tell him that he's good for next year or get him out the door now.
Right.
Because we're not in a position to compete for a playoff spot, right? But Mike McDaniel's worrying about keeping his job. So, at this point in the season, when you're not going for a playoff spot, you need to test some of these young guys and see if, hey, are these guys that we can use in the future? Are these guys ball players? Are these guys weapons that we can use? You know what I mean? We got to see what we have in these young guys. But if you're sitting there fighting for your job, you're not going to do that. You're going to play the people that give you the best chance to win. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, people are talking about Quinn Ewers. See if Quinn Ewers is got anything. I don't think that Quinn Ewers is going to be the next starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins, not by a long shot. But, it would be nice to see what Quinn Ewers can do, but you're not going to sit Tua. Tua gives you the best chance to win.
Right. Yeah, because you could definitely let yours play, and who knows, maybe he plays some good football, and if you're getting rid of him anyway, at least you're adding to his what he's worth. So, I mean, that's kind of crazy.
I mean,
I
the
can see that
quarterback
happening.
position was kind of a bad because Quinn Ewers is not the answer. But like we got defensive tackles, we got young players across the board that we could be testing out and see if they're pieces that we can build with. But we're not gonna. He's not gonna test those players. He's not gonna give them adequate playing time because he knows that he needs to at least perform well to keep his job next year. And from what I'm hearing, Stephen Ross loves Mike McDaniel.
Right.
You know, that's why Chris Greer was moved on before Mike McDaniel. He believes in Mike McDaniel. And me personally, I'm not mad if they keep Mike McDaniel another year. I know that's a very unpopular opinion by Miami Dolphin fans. But if Tua's going to be stuck here next year, and yeah, we could rip off the Band-Aid like the Denver Broncos did with Russell Wilson. But what people don't understand is when the Denver Broncos did that, they're comparing the Denver Broncos to the Miami Dolphins. Oh, well, they had Russell Wilson. They just let him go. They were all right. Look at where the position they're in. Well, they already had their head coach. They already had one of the best head coaches in the league. We don't have that here. We don't have a head coach that knows what he wants as far as his team. So we don't have a Sean Payton in the wing, waiting in the wings to build this team back up. So, like I said, if Tua's going to be here next year, you might as well keep Mike one more year, and then you draft next year, best player available. Don't necessarily push for a quarterback, and then you continue to build this team. And then when you got to, you cut losses with Mike McDaniel, you cut Tua, and you go and you draft your quarterback. I'm not super high on any of these quarterbacks coming out this year. Mendoza looks good, but is he the answer? Is he, you know what I mean? Is he the answer? I'd like to see a little bit more from these quarterbacks before I'd say mortgage the future and go out. And there's teams ahead of us that need quarterbacks too. I don't want to get stuck with the fourth ranked quarterback in the draft just because we're drafting a quarterback. You know what I mean? If the Jets take a quarterback, the Saints end up taking another quarterback, the Browns end up taking another quarterback, that means we get the fourth best quarterback in the draft with the number 4 pick. I'm not stretching. I'm not reaching for that. I'm not reaching for that.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just a lot going on, man. Our teams are in the middle of a cluster fludge. I'm still disappointed. I think they still could have did something to help Jackson Dart out. Like I really feel that they could have did something. I don't know. And then the defense, like that's in shambles in the secondary. They can't stop the run. We got a team that runs good outside the numbers that we're playing this week. I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to this week. I've noticed that since Dart has started, I was excited every week, and I am excited to watch him. But at the same time, it's just like another season down the drain. I'm definitely excited that we have a quarterback, but at the same time, it's just hard to stay in that kind of spirit halfway through the season, and you really don't have nothing to look forward to at the end of the season. So I don't know.
Yeah, see, I disagree with you. Hopefully Cam Scatterbo gets to come back. You feel like you got your quarterback of the future. You got a pretty good defense. You got Malik Neighbors. Hopefully he can come back. So I think you got a lot of things to look forward to, Mike. You got to start looking at that glass. There's teams like the Miami Dolphins. I don't have a head coach. I don't have a quarterback. I don't have, what do I got? We don't have anything right now. We don't have anything. You need a good head coach and another good draft, and you'll be all right. And your players will come back healthy.
Hopefully.
You know what I mean? One more good draft, and if Neighbors comes back healthy and Scatterbo comes back healthy and Jackson Dart has a year to grow, the Giants should be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not
Cap
saying
says,
that the
Cap says, how's the weather for the Giants game tomorrow?
it's supposed to be cold. There's chances of flurries, and I think snow in the morning to the afternoon, and then it's wind gust up to 30 miles an hour. So, that's going to be interesting. And then, of course, our kicker, out of nowhere. Oh yeah, I got a herniated disc in my neck. Like, what the hell did we give this guy money for? I'm just it's so tired. And then he came out and was like, made a comment about, I've only missed 3 kicks in 2 years. Dude, you've played 15 games in 2 years. Like, you got hurt in warmups and missed multiple games. Like, shut the fudge up. Like, shut up. I don't want to hear it. It's the biggest load of shit I've ever heard. And it's just these little things around the team. Little things around the team just piss me off. Carl Banks called out Dexter Lawrence the week before, and Dexter Lawrence still played like a fucking piece of crap last week. I mean, don't get it twisted. He still plays at a high level, but he spoiled us because he set a bar so high for the last few seasons that he's not living up to that, and it's noticeable. So I don't know. I think the defense has a will problem. They just don't have the will. They don't have the fight. And, I think that's damaging to having a rookie quarterback too, because when you got a defense that you feel like's giving up on the game, I mean, what the hell are you going out there to put points on the board for? So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'm frustrated. That's for sure.
Well, we're about to break down these games. I don't know if you caught Thursday's night game, man. That's why I'm not a fan of Bo Nix. He did not impress me. I thought he was horrible. I didn't think he played good at all. I expected them to destroy the Raiders, and they struggled to move the ball on the Oakland Raiders or Las Vegas Raiders. My fault.
The Oakland Raiders.
They struggled to move the football against them. I'm just not a Bo Nix guy. I just can't help it. I'm not a Bo Nix guy.
No, I can understand that. It was definitely all defense. Like, Denver was like punt, touchdown, punt, interception, punt. I was just like, I didn't even watch most of the game. I watched bits and pieces of it, but after my bet didn't fall and a couple guys didn't get touchdowns, I was like, yeah, not even interested. But definitely not expecting that from the Broncos. I don't know. I thought that was going to be like a runaway game. They were giving the Raiders 9.5 points, and they came out there and did that. Like, and the Raiders were outscored 71-6 over the last 2 road games. So, I mean,
I started off all my weekend parlays with Denver by some type of money or some type of points, and ruined all my picks except one. It was the most expensive one that didn't get ruined. It was the most expensive. I dropped 200 on that bet. I took Denver by 2.5. Oh, so I just barely, wow. But so let's get into this weekend slate of games though. This is my least favorite week of the year. I mean, it happens twice a year. It's when we go up against the Buffalo Bills. I absolutely, Buffalo just hits different for me. I think it's when I was growing up watching the Buffalo Bills dominate the Miami Dolphins. Them teams of the 90s that the Bills had going back to back Super Bowls. They always had the Dolphins number. And it was always rough for me. And now don't get me wrong, I hate the freaking stinking Jets. I hate the Patriots for what they did with Tom Brady. That was a rough time in my life. But then Buffalo Bills, the amount of shit I get from my family, Mike, we're upstate New York. Everywhere you go is Buffalo. The amount of slack that they're rubbing it in the face, it's tough to deal with. And the fact that Josh Allen has been so successful against the Miami Dolphins, it makes it a rough time when we go to play the Buffalo Bills. So we'll get into that game a little bit later. So without further ado, where are we sitting at as far as picks?
Oh, yeah. I did all of our stuff And let me see.
What's up, JD?
We actually after all the madness last week, I think we had 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 4 games that we both picked opposite teams, and we still ended up tied for the week. We still went 7-6. That puts me at 75, 43 and 1, and puts you at 74, 44 and 1. So you're only 1 game behind, as you were last week. Although the picks are getting a little better. I mean, I'd like to lose a little less than 6, but 75 and 43 and 74 and 44, I don't believe is too terrible.
Yeah. I mean, it's not great. I mean, the overall record's not bad, but the 7-6 ain't good.
Maybe next year, instead of just picking winners, maybe next year we'll pick with the odds as well. So make it a little more interesting next year. It's gonna be rough. Yeah, you're just right. So we got a game in Germany, Atlanta versus Indianapolis Colts. Indy had 6 giveaways and week 9 loss to Pittsburgh, most by Indy since 2007. Daniel Jones, not the greatest game. They did, like you said earlier, they picked up Sauce Gardner to help with that secondary. I mean, obviously that tells me that Indy, they thinks they got a shot. Like they went out, they picked up a top corner, so that they believe they're going somewhere. They need to give Taylor the ball more, though. 4 times in 3 drives last week that's part of why you lose the game. You got to give the ball to the best player on the team. And he's the best to me, in my opinion. So, yeah, 4 handoffs, 4 touches of the ball in 3 drives for the best, one of the top running back in the league right now. So, I got the Colts in this one. 34-27. I think it's a high-scoring game. I think I got the Colts. I think the real Colts are going to recover from last week and take Atlanta out. Even though Atlanta's defense has been looking pretty good, I still think it's going to be a decently high-scoring game. 34-27 Colts.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta's defense has been fairly good this year. I think they're giving up the 4th least amount of yards per game this year, which is good. But where they have struggled a bit is in the running game. They struggle against the run, and you just happen to have perhaps the league MVP coming to town. Jonathan Taylor's had a phenomenal year running the football this year. Do I think he ends up winning the MVP? No. Running backs typically don't win it. It's a quarterback award. But if I had a pick right now, Jonathan Taylor might be it. So there's that, and like you said, adding Sauce Gardner, the Indianapolis Colts believe they got a shot. They believe they got a shot. Their one weakness was at corner. You pick up a top 3 corner in this league. I think Sauce comes to play. I predict that Sauce has immediate effect on this game. And I think I'm leaning towards the Colts too. Michael Penix had 3 passing touchdowns last week. All 3 were to London, I think. Sauce Gardner's going to be all over Drake London. I think Sauce is a better corner than what Drake London is a receiver. Like I said, Sauce is going to be playing. You just came from a team that didn't have a win to a team that's has Super Bowl aspirations. You know what I mean? He's got to be absolutely pumped. So I expect a big game from him, possibly even get an interception. Michael Penix, little note here. He had 3 touchdown passes last week. So far in his NFL career, he's never had back-to-back games with multiple touchdown passes.
Wow.
Which
I guess that's not.
It's kind of. It's kind of crazy. Not that his career's been super long, but
right.
You've never thrown 2 touchdown passes 2 games in a row.
Yeah, that is a little crazy. You would think that you would have by then. I don't know.
But
That is kind of
I think
crazy.
I think the Colts lock them down. I'm going to say the Colts 31 to 13.
31-13. Just reverse the numbers. Nice. All right. 1:00. New Orleans at the Carolina Panthers. Panthers above 500 after week 9 for the first time since 2019. Panthers are big and physical. Rico can get the run game going. He's running well. I don't know. Saints suck. So, I mean, I don't even think this is a real tester, to be honest with you. I think, you get those surprises once in a while, but I think Carolina's playing pretty decent. I mean, they beat the Packers, so in an upset, I mean, that's got to be something. They're a sneaky team. They'll sneak up on you if you're not prepared. I got the Panthers in this one over New Orleans, 24-10.
Yeah, I like the Panthers too. The Panthers have shown me more this year than what the Saints have. Saints just traded Rashid Shaheed.
Mhm.
He went to the Seattle Seahawks, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So they're down a weapon. Just the ability for the Carolina Panthers to be able to run the football. If there's one thing that can help you win a game when you're not a very good team is running the football. Rico's done a great job this year. I think Rico's a really good running back. I got Carolina 24-17.
Yeah. Rico's third in rushing yards with 738. So, I mean, he's definitely been balling out for the Panthers.
And he hasn't even been the starter the whole year.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So, all right, the next one. Baltimore Ravens and Minnesota Vikings. Ravens are giving up 4.5 to the Vikings. Ravens third in the NFL in scoring defense since week 6. I mean, Jackson looked good coming back last week. They put a hurting on who'd they play last week?
Who's that, Minnesota?
Yeah, who did the Ravens play last week though?
Oh, the Ravens played Miami.
Oh yeah. That was a Thursday night game. That's right. Well, Lamar had a great game. I guess I can't really say he had a great game just because he was playing Miami. So who knows? Maybe he shits the bed this week. But he does change everything when he's playing. The pass game opens up. It opens up different run lanes. You got to account for Jackson. And JJ's been looking halfway decent too. I wouldn't call him a stud or anything. If they want to win this, they're going to have to definitely get the ball to Jefferson. But the Ravens defense has been improving. They're tied second for fewest points per game allowed, week 6 through 9. I'm going to take the Ravens. I don't know about the score. 27-24. I think Minnesota keeps it interesting, but I think Baltimore gets the win on the road in Minnesota.
Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens are getting healthy, and they're the favorite to win the AFC North, even though Pittsburgh's sitting at the top of that division, and Baltimore is sitting at 3-5. But I've said it all along. When this team is healthy, they're one of the best teams in all of football. Lamar Jackson is a walking MVP candidate. What he can do on the ground, what he's become such a phenomenal passer too. So much, he's so improved since when he first came in the league, and people, he's a running back. He's a running back playing quarterback. No, this guy can throw the football. The guy can throw the football right there. 35.4 points per game they were giving up weeks 1 through 5. They're only giving up 13 a game now. They were hurt. And for people to say injuries don't matter like that, perfect example. Yeah. Minnesota looked really good last week. Lamar Jackson at all time is 24-3 against NFC teams. So he's had a great deal of success against the NFC. The one thing I will say, though, is Brian Flores has coached against Lamar Jackson a couple times. in one game when he was with the Miami Dolphins, he held Lamar Jackson in check like I've never seen Lamar held in check. They blitzed on like 52% of their plays. They just zero blitzed him constantly, just dominated Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the route he goes this week. I think this is a tough game, but I do think Baltimore ends up pulling it out. I think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring game. Mark Andrews only needs 18 yards to become the Ravens' all-time leading receiver. So I think he gets that fairly early.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say 20-17 Baltimore.
Fair enough. Cleveland Jets, the battle of the shit stains. Jets are getting a 1.5. Both teams coming off a bye week. Field sacked by Garrett 4.5 times in their first meeting. They and also Garrett just had another five sack game a couple weeks ago, I believe. Not really a game I'm interested in watching. Like I said, the Jets lost Sauce. I think this team comes in deflated. It's a big deal when you lose these top players, even when you are losing. But that little bit of something there, I think that really takes the team down. Browns have lost 7 straight road games by 13 plus points, but I think they snapped that this week. I got the Browns in this one, 21-3.
The Browns have struggled on offense this year. Of course, they got an amazing defense. Kevin Stefanski is giving up play calling duties, though. His offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees. Let's see what this guy can cook up. They got a young quarterback in Dylan Gabriel. Quentin Judkins looks like he's the real deal at running back. I'm curious to see what this new look offense looks like. And when do we see Shedeur Sanders? When do they give this kid an opportunity?
Right.
I know Dylan Gabriel was drafted higher, but let's all not pretend that Shedeur Sanders was supposed to be the higher pick. Shedeur Sanders was in conversations for the number 1 pick in the draft for months. And then for some reason he falls to the 4th round. Is it because he was overly cocky and confident in his meetings with general managers in the pre-draft process? I think that had something to do with it. But
he can't be any worse than Cam Ward, though. I wanted Shedeur over Cam. So how did they not? How are they not giving him a chance? What do they got to lose, though? I mean, we're talking about the Browns. They're 2-6.
You're giving Dylan Gabriel an opportunity. Let's see what Shedeur got. You got to do your due diligence, because you're going to end up having a top pick in this draft. Do you select another quarterback in this draft without seeing what Shedeur has? I think that's stupid. Very, very stupid. Yep. I think Shedeur has a certain amount of swag that he'll bring to that offense. And I think they should give the kid the opportunity. The Jets trading away Sauce, trading away Quinn Williams, my fault. This team is ready for this season to be over. They're ready to get to the draft and draft new players. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these guys check out, just for the simple fact they know that this team is giving up. When you go and trade 2 of your top 4 players on your team, you know, what's that say to the rest of the team? So I do think the Browns end up winning this football game, even though, man, they might tie.
Hey, Myles Garrett, number 2 in the league in sacks with 10, just one under the number 1 spot.
I'm going to say Cleveland 13-10.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Pretty low. Pretty low. All right, who do we got next? New England Patriots at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Pats are coming off a close game against Atlanta. 1 point win. They're actually giving 2.5 points to the Pats. So the favorite at home, Tampa Bay. I mean, what can I say? Drake May is looking good. He's got the stats to prove it. Completion percentage is first in the league. If you see on the screen, passing yards, fourth, yards per attempt at 9 with in third place, and passing touchdowns 17 for third. I think this team has got it, but I'm actually picking Tampa Bay in this because I believe they're coming off a bye. They're getting a couple players back. I think possibly Mike Evans and Godwin are coming back. I think this is a prove-it game for the Pats, and Drake May is playing amazing. I can't really take anything away from that, but I think we have a really close game. I think the Tampa Bay coming off that bye week is going to be really helpful to them. They pull this out by a field goal, 28-25, Tampa Bay.
I like Tampa Bay too. The Patriots have done a phenomenal job this year. I just feel like they're going up against another really good football team, and I think that's when you have your hiccups. You know what I mean? This is still a very young team, still trying to get a grasp on what Mike Vrabel's trying to do. So there's bound to be mistakes. Yeah, when you're playing against lesser talent, you're going to look really good. I just think this is one of those times that they struggle, but I think it's going to help them in the long run. Games like this, games against other really good football teams, they get to make their mistakes now, so hopefully they don't have to make them again later. So I like the Bucs too. Baker Mayfield, I just think he's going to outperform Drake May in this. Drake May looks like he's the real deal, though. Very, very jealous of the New England Patriots. I'm going to say this game is 24-23 Bucs.
Nice. Even closer than mine. All right. All right. Arizona at Seattle. Seahawks are giving the Cardinals 6.5. Seattle's best 8-game start since 2020. They you said they picked up who they pick up? They just picked up
Shaheed.
Yep. I'm starting to get to a point where I got to give Darnold his flowers. He had an amazing season last year. He's putting together another amazing season. It's hard for me to sit here and keep going down. Yeah, I ain't gonna say that. It's hard for me to keep getting down.
Whoa!
It's hard for me to get down on somebody.
You're going down on him. Yeah.
Listen, man. Listen, I caught myself. All right. But it's hard. I can't keep giving him shit
on his zipper.
I mean, he's proven. He has proven himself. They're 6-2. Arizona. I just Kyler Murray's done. They got to do something at quarterback because he's not the answer for that team. They're unimpressive. Seattle's D's looking nasty. That's all I got. They got Jackson Smith and Najigba for the Seahawks, and like you said, Rashid Shaheed. They're giving more. They got him another target to throw to. I think this is a pretty straightforward game. I think they put up 37-17 Seattle.
Yeah. Listen, Kyler Murray hasn't even been playing. It's been Jacoby Brissett. He's looked really good at filling in for him, almost to the point where it's creating some kind of quarterback controversy out there. Kyler Murray's on injured reserve, matter of fact. So I think they've played fairly well under Jacoby, but Jacoby is what Jacoby is. He's just a mediocre quarterback. He's not a star. He's not even a very good quarterback. He's just mediocre who has the potential to sometimes have good games. And you're right about Sam Darnold. I struggle to give Sam Darnold his flowers, but at some point you got to realize when someone's just a good football player, and Sam Darnold has proven that through the last year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah,
he led the Minnesota Vikings to a 15-2 record, and then you come out, and I thought Seattle would struggle this year. They traded away DK Metcalf. They let Tyler Lockett go, but Jackson Smith-Njigba has made himself a star. He's a top 5 wide receiver in this league right now.
No, he's leading in yards by over 100. He's got 948 receiving yards, and Jamar Chase is second with 831. So that's over 100 yards. difference. So he's definitely balling out.
I do like the Cardinals' Trey McBride. I think he's a very talented, underrated player. Listen, I think this one's a blowout. I think Seattle has a significant lead by halftime. I'm going to say Seattle wins this game 41 to 20.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. This is my Los Angeles Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. You got wide receiver Puka Nacua, top 5 in receiving on the offensive side. Byron Young has 9 sacks, which is good enough for 3 on the defensive side. I like the Rams offense. I like Matthew Stafford. Beginning of the season, there's a lot of questions with his back, but obviously that hasn't done anything. 3 straight wins by the Rams by 14 plus points or more for the first time since 2017. They're looking good, 6-2. But then on the other side, you got the 49ers, surprisingly at 6-3. I mean, they got a win against the Giants, obviously, and I wasn't too thrilled with that, but they're looking pretty good. 49ers went to LA and beat them a few weeks ago too. Mac Jones is surprisingly playing well. They have young players stepping up, even with all the injuries. McCaffrey's looking phenomenal, just like a wrecking ball. Their veteran tight end Kittle, he's looked good against the Giants. 9 weeks in, they're 6-3, and they're unhealthy as usual, but I think they're going to start getting guys back here pretty quick. I think they're going to be even more and more competitive. This is my upset of the week. I got the upset of the week for San Francisco, and I got them winning 28-25.
Well, the San Francisco 49ers did knock off the Rams in week 5 this year, which was a little surprising to me. Mac Jones has done a good job of filling in for Brock Purdy. Christian McCaffrey, like you said, he's been phenomenal, has over 100 scrimmage yards in 8 out of 9 games this year so far. So he's getting back to being the Christian McCaffrey of old, doing a lot of his damage through the air, though. San Francisco's 3-0 against the division right now. They have a real opportunity in this game to put a stranglehold on any tiebreakers that may come at the end of the season for this division. But I don't think that happens. I think the Rams are the far superior team. I think it was a little bit of a fluke what happened week 5. I think the Rams get their get back in this one, and I like the Rams to win 31-20. Just too many injuries. Fred Warner being out for the season. He is the backbone of that defense. No Bosa, he's out for the year. There's just too many injuries for them to overcome.
Yeah, I agree. Detroit and Washington. Obviously the Lions coming off that tough loss to Minnesota last week by a field goal. Jaden Daniels dislocated that elbow in a week 9 loss to Seattle. It doesn't even matter if he was playing or not. I'm not really sure. He's not. The defense is playing like shit for Washington. This looks more like what a season that I was expecting from Jaden Daniels last year during his rookie season. Things haven't been clicking team wise and hasn't been gelling. He's hurt. I think they're giving Washington 8.5. So I look for a Lions ass whooping on this. I got 35-13 Lions.
Man, I don't even know what to say about Detroit last week. They were highly disappointing to me. Highly disappointing. I could not believe my eyes, and they cost my pockets greatly.
Me too.
The Commanders have lost 3 straight by 20 plus points. They have not looked like the same team as last year when they stunned these Detroit Lions in the divisional series.
Yep.
in the divisional round. What was the score of that game? It was 45-31. Straight beat the brakes off them. I think this is Detroit's get back week, get right week. Detroit knows that they underperformed last week, that they felt like they had a real shot at the Super Bowl last year, and for Washington to beat up on them, I think they go out and clobber the Washington Commanders this week. Washington's still trying to figure out their defense. They're trying to salvage their season, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Just too many injuries, constant injuries. Daniels can't stay on the field. I like Detroit with the same score, 45-31.
Damn.
The same score they lost to in that divisional round.
Damn, you really think Washington's going to put up 31?
No. I was just trying to be dramatic.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm just trying to be dramatic, he says. Jacksonville Jaguars at 5-3. Texans at 3-5. Texans are getting 1.5 points. Jags 5-3 start, second time in 3 seasons. Picked up Jacoby Myers from the Raiders to fill Hunter's wide receiver spot. Texans defense is amazing. I think Stroud's supposed to be back this week. If not, it's Davis Mills. But I don't know. It's hard for me to even think of Trevor Lawrence as an actual.
He's not playing. CJ's not playing.
So it is Mills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had the Texans picked in this, but now that I know CJ's not playing, I give him more credit than I think he's better than Mills. So, man, now I got to change my shit. All right, I'm going to take Jacksonville 28-24.
Yeah, the Jags are a surprising 5-3. I didn't think they'd be as good as what they are. I don't think they're great, though. But CJ Stroud being out and Davis Mills starting is definitely an area I'm not willing to dip my hat into. Davis Mills is 5-19-1 overall in his career. That's just not good. You would think that Houston would be able to find a better, more capable starting our backup quarterback than Davis Mills, but I'm going to go with Sunshine in this one. I'm going with Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence. Travis Etienne's had a very good year. It sucks that Hunter's out, but they did get Jacoby Myers to fill in for him. Houston's defense is really good. I think it's going to end up being a lower scoring game. I'm going to say 17-13 Jags.
17-13 Jags. Da-da-da-da. And leads us into Buffalo game, which I'll let you take care of. This is Josh Allen's career versus the Dolphins, regular and postseason. Obviously, it's 13-2, 32.6 a game. Yeah. What do you got for this? I think it's a sweep. Bill's sweep.
What can you do? 14-2. Jesus. 14-2.
I know
it's absolutely ridiculous. The Buffalo Bills coming off a big win against the Kansas City Chiefs. Nothing surprising there. They typically beat the Chiefs in the regular season. That's nothing new. They just can't get the job done in the postseason. I think this Buffalo Bills team does have weaknesses, but they don't have enough weaknesses where they're going to fall to the Miami Dolphins this week. Chop Robinson's out with a concussion. Rasul Douglas, the best corner on our football team, he is out. We just traded Jalen Phillips away. He's been our best pass rusher, even though he can't tackle the quarterback. James Cook is a little beat up, but it doesn't matter because Buffalo's backup running backs have had great success against us. The only chance the Miami Dolphins got in this football game is to run the ball against the very porous Buffalo Bills defense when it comes to stopping the run. Buffalo struggles to stop the run. They're one of the worst teams in the league at stopping the run. So aren't the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
Although the Miami Dolphins have been better. They have been better in the last few weeks, it's still gonna. Josh Allen's just too much. 14-2. He's gonna be 15-2. They're gonna win another game in Miami. It just depends on how much. I'm gonna take Buffalo 31-21.
Wasn't that the score of the first game this year?
I don't remember. I was there. I don't remember.
The Bills defeated Miami 31-21 week 3 at home. Going to be a season sweep with the same scores. That's crazy. Yeah, I agree. I took Buffalo 38-13. Sorry. I'm sorry, man. Giants at Bears. Chicago 5-1 last 6 games. They started the season 0-2. They came back against the Bengals, but come on. They let Flacco throw the ball 470 yards. This is like last week for the Giants. Both our offenses can score, but whose D will be worse, I think, is going to be the Giants. We made 0 moves at the deadline. We got kicker drama, which I think Koo is starting kicker. Monunga is looking good on the other side for that Bears offense. This could be the 11th straight road loss for the Giants, and I wouldn't be shocked if it happened. We are getting Bellinger back. I think Holland's coming back. I don't think Adebo is going to be back. I think there's a possibility of Flott being back after that concussion. So our secondary should look a little bit better. But, I just can't do it this week. I got the Giants 31-28.
Man, the Giants just dealing with a bunch of injuries, right? I don't have a lot of faith in the Bears, but
they're looking better they're looking better with Ben as being their coach. That's for sure. You could definitely tell the difference for Caleb Williams. Night and day.
I mean, Caleb Williams God's talent, right? I mean, the guy God's talent. If Cam Scatterbull was still playing for the Giants and they were more healthy, I would take the Giants, but I gotta go with the healthier team, the Chicago Bears.
Yep.
I'm gonna say 55-6.
Yo, fuck you, bro. You really want me to put 55-6?
No, I'll say 23-17.
You're such a dick. I can't. Oh man, I can't. Moving on, Sunday night football, Steelers versus Chargers. Steelers 5-3, Chargers 6-3. Steelers come off a game against Indy where they had 6 takeaways, most in a game by Pittsburgh since 2010. Pittsburgh's defense really showed up. Obviously, Pittsburgh defense is halfway decent every year. They're going up against Herbert and the Chargers. I think the Chargers are a better team. I think the Chargers are, I don't know, man. Aaron Rodgers and that Steelers team has really surprised me this year. And I was going to pick Steelers, but I think this is a close game. And I think Chargers are at home. And that's what ultimately decided it for me. I got the Chargers 27-24.
I just think there's too many injuries for the Chargers, and I don't trust Justin Herbert when it comes to big games. They got both their tackles out. They're down to their 5th and 6th string running backs. They just got a lot of injuries, and since Pittsburgh got their defense going in the right direction last week, I think they build on that at least this week against the Chargers. I like Pittsburgh 27-17.
Fair enough. And the last game closing out this week's football, Monday night football. Eagles at Packers. Eagles under Sirianni are 4-0 coming off a bye week. Eagles took the 1 seed from Green Bay last week. Green Bay losing Tucker Kraft is a huge problem. It sucks for them, but they still have a really solid team. I still think they're a good team. I'm still on the Green Bay bandwagon. I think they just got caught flat-footed last week. I think they rebound this week. One game separates the top 8 teams in the NFC. Like, that's crazy. So I'm taking Green Bay this week just because I don't like picking the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think they take this one by a touchdown. Green Bay 28-21.
I won't pick Green Bay for nothing. For nothing. They continue to disappoint and continue to let me down. This is not the first time this season that they lost to a lesser opponent. They lost to the Cleveland Browns. This team is very inconsistent. You don't know which team's going to show up. I think Jalen Phillips has 2 sacks for the Philadelphia Eagles this week. I think all the attention gets to be taken off him, and he just gets to get out there and rush the quarterback. I think he's going to have a new life breathed into his lungs, and I think he has a huge game. I think he wins this game for the Philadelphia Eagles. I like Philly 28-17.
Fair enough. We got 4 games that we do not agree on. Obviously, the Giants game, you got the Bears, I got the Giants. The Rams San Francisco game, I'm taking San Francisco as my upset of the week. You got the Rams. The Steelers game, you got the Steelers, I got the Chargers. And this last game, I got Green Bay, you got Philadelphia. So 4 opportunities, and chances are you could possibly take 3 of those at least. At least you might even sweep them. So this is your week. This might be your week, bro. Might be your week.
Well, I'm gonna throw a bet out there for people on FanDuel. If you got a few dollars and you wanna try to win a couple dollars, this is a 6-leg parlay. I got the Colts by 2.5. Houston straight up. Although I think I should change that. Yeah, let's just eliminate that one. So it's a 5-leg parlay because I didn't realize Mills was starting. 5-leg parlay. I got the Colts minus 2.5. I got the Bills minus 8.5. I got the Seahawks minus 8.5 against Arizona. I got the Rams minus 2.5 against San Francisco. And I got Detroit minus 9.5 against the Washington Commanders. You put $100 down on there, that'll win you $1,700.
Do. Holler for $1. Holler for $1, man.
And then if you take the Jags over Houston, because I had that kind of split, what's that do for you? That'll up that payout quite a bit. Let's see here. See, take the Jags. $100 will win you $3,300.
That's a big difference. That's a big one.
Yes, sir. You should just bet the wins. The spread is where they get you. Yeah, but you got to bet the spread to win the bigger dollars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jamie. I understand KC's on a bye week, so yeah, they're not going to lose this week. So you're safe. Another week, Travis Swift is out partying with his fiance, and God only knows what. But yeah, I think you're safe another week. You're right.
Yeah, that's they definitely are.
That's all I got. You got anything else? Long
Who's your league MVP so far?
I struggle with this. I don't know. This is tough. I think there's a bunch of them. I think Sam Darnold.
No, there can only be one. There can only be one.
I think Daniel Jones is in it. But last week, Daniel Jones, he showed, Danny Dimes showed up. It wasn't Indiana Jones. You could see the Danny Dimes show up again. So, it's still there. Obviously it's still there. He did it for multiple years with the Giants, but I can't take Daniel Jones. I just can't do it. I'm going to say I'm going to say my MVP to me personally right now, it's a tie between Matthew Stafford and Drake May. I would say Taylor, Jamie, but it's not a running back. It's not a running back award. We went through this last year with Saquon, and Taylor's not going to do what Saquon did last year. So, yeah.
Yeah, if Saquon doesn't win it, how do you give it to a running back? You know what I mean? I'd be highly pissed off if.
And I hated rooting for Saquon. I hated rooting for Saquon, not because I think he's a bad person, but I hated rooting for him because he's on the Eagles. And that killed me last year. But I did it. I sucked it up and I did it. But yeah, if he didn't get it, Taylor definitely ain't getting it. I'll just go with Drake May at this point. If he he has an opportunity. Like, they're doing really good. And I mean, I think he's 5th in yards. So he's got like almost 2,300 yards already this season. So I'm going to take Drake May. He's my MVP so far.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick. Man, I don't want to be a copycat. I'll go Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. It was tough. I like Matthew Stafford he's a solid guy. Like, he'll hit any spot on the field. Excellent passer, can stay in the pocket, and he just gets shit done. It's hard to deny that. But, I'll give it to Drake May now. He has an opportunity to mess that up for the rest of the season. We'll see. Veteran.
Oh yeah, he won't win the MVP, but he has.
Yeah, I don't think so
agree
either.
with you that. I agree with you if the season ended today that he'd probably be the MVP because it's just not a running back award. It's just not.
Yeah.
You got to have not even an all-time great season wins the award for another position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did Josh Allen have a great season last year? Did Lamar Jackson have a great season last year? Absolutely. Both of them did. Lamar had a better season than Josh Allen did.
I think if Lamar can bring the Ravens back and make the playoffs, I'll give my MVP of the year to him. Like, no lie. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would definitely do that. So, yeah. I forgot. I should write that down. So you picked Stafford. I got May. Man, I just really hope. I want to see Abdul Carter get a goddamn sack, dude. I just really. Oh. Are you frozen? Uh-oh. Some technical difficulties, folks. Yeah, for sure, Jamie. I'm just saying I'd give it to Lamar if he can bring this team back. That's for sure. I sure would. A lot of good play this year. But Brian Burns for the Giants, man, he's leading the league in sacks with 11. I'm hoping he gets a couple more against the Bears. I think he has a really good opportunity to do that. But other than that, that's the brightest spot on the Giants defense. That's for sure. That is for sure. Well, I think we're about done. He obviously had some technical difficulties. I'm going to close this up. We will see you Monday. And until then, have a good weekend. Watch some football. Enjoy yourselves. And hey, man, Thanksgiving's almost here. I know y'all getting ready. I know y'all getting excited. Get your mouth watering. Ooh, Thanksgiving is coming. Anyway, have a good night, guys. I love y'all. Thanks for stopping by. I'm out. Peace.
Big C and Mike Jones, they call the plays in the zone. Spit facts, no cap, straight to the bone. Gritter, roaring gossip, the field's their home. Huddle up, press play, you're never alone. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this is the spot. NFL drama, they break it down surgical. Draft day whispers, moves so tactical. Receiver stretching arms, catches vertical. Big C's laugh hitting, vibes so magical. Mike Jones got stats like a human playbook. Big C's insight sharper than a no look. Halftime debates, better than they should. You fumble the podcast, now you misunderstood. Flags fly, refs blind, penalty stack. They calling out the calls, no sugar, just facts. Fantasy picks, who's carrying the pack? Every week they hit harder than a linebacker smack. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT.